Hi everybody, and welcome to this Friday's tutorial. And I was searching in my beautiful book again with animals, and I stumbled across this swan. So I made a quick sketch, but then I was thinking of drawing a swan that is going to be landing on the water. So the angle of the head is slightly different. So I studied that too. And this is the quick sketch I made from this landing swan. And this is what came out. And I thought that was so nice to draw in that landing swan and the splashing water and his head sticking out, that I thought, okay, let's make a tutorial out of this. Now there's very little colors that I use. The setup will be done with a charcoal pencil. And these are the colors I used, so not many at all. And as a paper, I'm using this study block. It's very cheap, but I like the color. And this is the article number, and they have 50 sheets, so you can draw all you want. Now, where's my sketch? Here it is. So this is the one I'm using for this tutorial, and I've picked up my charcoal pencil, and the smartest thing to do is to start drawing in the beak. Now here you can see the nose entrance, and this is the side of the beak, and he has that big bump on top of his head, on top of the beak, in fact. So I place in where the head would go, and then I have to decide, of course, how the neck is going to be. So I simply try out this line. Well, I already see that it should be more stretched out, so I correct this. And as you can see, the charcoal pencil is very easily erased. So ideal for making that first setup. And here you can see the muscles on top of the back. And then I can start drawing in the first wing that is on the right. Now, swans are very elegant indeed. But when they are landing or taking off, well, they're not so elegant at all. And I really thought it would be nice to capture that moment, and in this case, a swan landing on the water. And you can see his floppy feet here, and he is kind of landing crooked because they are very, very heavy birds. They're very big. And as I was saying, the landing and the taking off is not that elegant at all, but they are so amazing. And once they are on the water again, then that elegance comes back, and you have that beautiful swan. Now, with a charcoal pencil, I am figuring out where the shadows will be. Also here in the water underneath, that is stirred up because of this big bird, I also draw in some, well, kind of abstract shadows. And here on the left side you can see that big wing that's all the way stretched out. First I draw in the top of the wing, and this is the underneath of that wing with those feathers, and they have some kind of perspective in them, and some feathers are overlapping, and there's a lot of shadow, of course, in the underneath of that wing. Well, then I have my first setup, and I want to bring down the head a little bit to make it a little more elegant. If you draw in the neck too thick or the head too big, it will look like a goose. So that's not what I want. So I just make it a bit more elegant, and I'm also trying to get in that big bump that is on top of that beak. Here you can just see the side of the beak. So, well, charcoal is quite nice because you can always erase. And here I'm popping the eye a little bit closer to that nose. And I've started to pick up my white pastel pencil, because now that I have made my setup with the charcoal, it's time to start looking for the highlights in your drawing. This, of course, is easily done with the white pastel pencil. And in this drawing, the light is coming from the right top. So the right side of my swan and the parts that will catch a lot of light all get an underlayer of white pastel pencil. Of course, there's some light on top of the wings, but for the underneath I simply put in a little bit of white, but I press very softly. Now the top of the left wing, of course, catches a lot of light too. So I give that a thick underlayer of white. And you can already see how nice the color of the paper is getting along with those whites. But a swan, of course, is not only all white. So I also place in a little bit of light yellow. Then I start searching for those shadows again. So I dive in with the charcoal. And for the beak itself, I place in a little bit of white, a little bit of yellow, then a little bit of orange, and on the tip a little bit of red. That's all. Now light blue also is a very nice shadow color, if you may say so, for the color white. I put in a little more extra detail for that head. And then I continue with the light blue. Now, of course, the light hits the swan, but it also hits the water. So you get some kind of counter light. So I'm trying to grasp that too. And I'm mixing the white with the light yellow. Then it's time for the dark blue. And the dark blue pastel pencil I'm using for the darkest shadows in that white. I also place it here on the neck and on the breast of this bird. Here on the left wing, for the underneath of that left wing, there is a lot of shadow, of course. So here I put in the dark blue too. The flappy paws get some red and orange, just to get some attention to it. And then it's time for the part where the water is splashing around. Now what I try here is to draw in some drops that are going upwards. And if you take close attention, I'm actually making some kind of an abstract, actually. And I just try to get the feel of water moving around. And you can also see how nice the black charcoal is mixing with the pastel. And also here, when you place in a little bit of dark blue, it's just amazing how those pigments are blending in together. So just go over your setup sketch, go over that charcoal with your white and your blue, and just rub it in a little bit with a finger. Well, as my drawing is progressing, it's time to get out some detail here and there. So here on top of the head I place in some extra white, and here on the side to get that feel of light going on. And it's just amazing how the white pops off that gray color of the paper, which is very cheap indeed, but ideal for making sketches like this. They work excellent together, and it will help you to get that feel of dynamicness and movement. You do not have to worry about messing it up, because it's very cheap. So should you mess up, just throw it away, make a new one. Here on the left I'm placing some little bit of extra shadow, and you can also use your Staedtler for those little detail. And then my study is finished. Well, should you want to see this in real time, you're always welcome to visit my Pateon page, where I upload everything I do here on the YouTube in real time for you to draw along. You can also support me there, so I would love to meet you there. If you liked this video, please give it a big thumbs up, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe. Good luck on your drawing, and I will see you again next Friday.